So today's class we will learn about two group CX disconnection. So in the last class we have seen about one group CX disconnections. That means a heteroatom which is connected next to the directly connected to the carbon. So the functional group, it will be a oxygen or a nitrogen, a sulfur. So those heteroatoms which are connected to the carbon, so we are disconnecting that bond, CX bond. So that was, we are only disconnecting only one bond. So that's why it's called one group CX disconnections. So in today's class we will see about two group CX disconnections. So here one functional group to help disconnect another elsewhere in the molecule are known as two group disconnections. That means, so this two group disconnection is more efficient than the one group disconnection, thereby it reducing the complexity of the target molecule. So now we can use easily disconnect using this two group disconnection, CX disconnection, that will make very easy the disconnection approach, okay, than the one group disconnection. So here this is also, we have three categories, this contains three categories. We can call them as 1,1 difunctionalized compounds, or 1,2 difunctionalized compounds, or 1,3 difunctionalized compounds. So there are three types in this two group CX disconnections. In that one group disconnection, the heteroatom is connected to a carbon. So that means there we are looking at only one functional group. But here the two group functional group, two group disconnections, there will be two functional group or two heteroatom which are connected by a two different carbon atom, not in the same carbon atom. Only one functional group. There will be at least two heteroatom in a molecule, where one heteroatom, according to the definition, where one functional group, that means one functional group having a heteroatom, will help to disconnect the another functional group or another heteroatom in the molecule. So there will be minimum two heteroatom or two functional group in the molecule, so that we can use those two heteroatoms, where one helps to disconnect the other, and finally we will be disconnecting the two atom and we will arrive at a new starting material. Okay, so the first one, 1,1 difunctionalized compound. For example, if you take acetal or ketol, where you will have two oxygen atom, isn't it? If you look at the structure of acetal or ketol, we will have two oxygen atom, where, see, this acetal ketol, this is from ketone we are having this one. So in this ketol we have two oxygen, isn't it? Here one oxygen will help to disconnect the other one. How? See, when you do the disconnection, here this oxygen is helping to disconnect the other one. Okay, so it comes in and it goes out. So automatically in the disconnection we will have one ketone and an alcohol. Okay, till you can after leaving this one, we will have like this species. That means we can get this species through this reaction. If you treat ketone with an methanol, then we can able to get this ketols. Okay, so in ketols we have one carbon, the two heteroatoms are in the same carbon, where one heteroatom helps to disconnect the other. Okay, here actually the two groups are removed finally. So this type of disconnection, functional group, where the two are in the same carbon, that's why it's called 1,1. So we will see that there are two CO bonds have been disconnected. In the final, see, initially we have CO and CO. Final, the two are disconnected. We will have a ketone only. So the two CO bonds have been disconnected, and the operation, what we call 1,1 diex. So in the short form, you can call it as a 1,1 diex. It's a two group disconnection. Disconnection is written shortened like diex. So in 1,1 disconnection, there are two groups. Both function group are attached to the same carbon atom. So if you see like this two heteroatom in a single same carbon atom, there you can use this 1,1 difunctionist disconnection. Okay. For example, if you take the acetal, the last slide we see about the ketol, where we can prepare the ketol from the ketone, isn't it? From the ketone, if you treat the ketone with the methanol, we can generate this ketol. Likewise, we can also generate the acetal if you treat the aldehyde, the corresponding aldehyde with the methanol. Okay. Here also we are disconnecting the both bond, the heteroatoms which are connected to the same carbon atom. So here we are doing 1,1 diex. So simply we can write the forward reaction like aldehyde and 2 methanol in presence of an acid, we will get the acetal. Okay, so wherever you see ketol or acetal, we can disconnect those two bonds, carbon oxygen two bonds, and we can write the starting material as the aldehyde in case of acetal or ketone in the case of ketol. Okay, so acetals two heteroatoms are both joined to the same carbon atom like the ketol. So here we can see that the ketol or on the acetal, it's the carbonyl, it's similar to carbonyl. In carbonyl you have, if you see that one oxygen like two oxygen will be considered earlier, two oxygens are connected to the carbon in the case of carbonyl. The same case here also. So the carbon is at the oxidation level of the carbonyl group. So like carbonyl groups, you can consider this one. So if you have here, see both are same, isn't it? OMe. In ketone also we can see we saw that both are same. So if suppose if one of the nucleophile, let's say it's nucleophile now, isn't it? 2 moles of methanol is attacking the aldehyde to get the acetal. So here it's a nucleophile. So suppose for one of the nucleophile, there are two different nucleophiles like this in the same carbon, then we can have two different nucleophile, isn't it? It will attack one by one. So a molecule is made from a carbonyl compound and a two nucleophile. You can consider as a molecule which is made from a carbonyl compound and two nucleophiles like HX and HY, two nucleophiles. So here the same nucleophile. Okay, so we can also have different nucleophile in the same carbon atom. For example, if you take a molecule where you have one hydroxyl and one some other heteroatom, some other nucleophile. Okay, so if one heteroatom is present as an OH group and then the only one nucleophile is involved, so another group is already some other nucleophile. For example, here you can see that one nucleophile is hydroxyl, one is hydroxyl, then another is another nucleophile. Okay, so according to the definition, if two nucleophiles or two functional groups are attached in the same carbon, where one heteroatom helps the other one, where one heteroatom helps to disconnect the other one, like this, here it goes out, then we will have this species. This is corresponding reagent for this electrophile, and this is the reagent for this nucleophile. So if you treat, this is called cyanohydrin. So you can synthesize the cyanohydrin, or you can prepare the cyanohydrin from a carbonyl and a hydrogen cyanide. Okay, so we can easily get this compound if you consider this a nucleophile and this is a electrophile. Okay, that means the same carbon, the electrophile and nucleophile attached in the same carbon. Okay, so for example, if you take this molecule, see we are seeing about one hydroxyl and one nucleophile. Okay, here the one carbon is there where we have hydroxyl group. Okay, but the amine is here, the next carbon, not the same carbon, it is in the next carbon. So what we can do, we can easily think about here the functional group in interconversion. We can convert the CH to NH2, isn't it? That we can easily convert into the nitrile group through functional group interconversion. That means using the reduction. That means we can easily get the amine from the cyano group nitrile compound through reduction, isn't it? So we are first doing functional group interconversion, because since we are looking at one group and one nucleophile, the same carbon. So now we have the compound where we have hydroxyl, the carbon where it is attached also having SCN nitrile group. So the both functional group are the same carbon. Now you can use it that now you can utilize that hydroxyl where it can help to disconnect the nitrile like this, isn't it? So now the one according to the definition, one heteroatom or here it's a hydroxyl helps to disconnect the CN. Okay, now using the 1,1-diox we can easily arrive at the starting material. Like in the case, the electrophile will be the ketone, cyclohexanone, and the nucleophile will be the hydrogen cyanide, isn't it? So in the forward reaction, if you treat the ketone with the hydrogen cyanide, then you can easily get this compound, cyanohydrin type compound. Then after reduction you will get the target molecule, isn't it? So it's very easy that we can easily identify that if we have a hydroxyl group in a carbon, then the same carbon also having some other functional group, or whether we can think of to get the functional group from other functional group. Like in the case amine, we converted into nitrile, so that we have two functional group, one hydroxyl and another functional group, the same carbon. So now then we can do the 1,1-diox. So the next one is 1,2-difunctionist compound. So the name itself we can understand that 1,1 means the same carbon, two functional group, 1,1. So 1,2-difunctional means then two carbons, one carbon 2, there are two different functional groups and two different carbons, adjacent carbons. So you can say that compounds with heteroatoms on adjacent carbon atoms. So we can do the 1,2-difunctionist disconnections. Okay, so the compound should have two carbon atom, the adjacent carbon atom should have functional heteroatom. Okay, so for example, suppose if you take a hydroxy ether like this, okay, where you have alcohol, and carbon 1 you have OH, carbon 2 we have O. So we can number like carbon 1 we have OH, at carbon 2 we have heteroatom connected. Okay, here it's oxygen ether, so it's a hydroxy ether. Likewise we can also have a hydroxy thioether, or we can have a hydroxy amine. So in all the cases, the one position we can name number the carbon 1 where the hydroxyl is attached, and the carbon 2 as where the heteroatom is attached, another next heteroatom is attached. So now we can think of that we have this kind of molecule, isn't it? The carbon 1 having OH, carbon 2 some nucleophile, whether it can be a oxygen or sulfur or nitrogen. Okay, amine. So if you have such a molecule, if you find this kind of structure in a molecule, then you can easily think of 1,2-diox. So where you will disconnect the next one, okay, the where the heteroatom is connected, not the hydroxyl, because it's almost a terminal where we don't do that. So here we can do this at the carbon 2 and the heteroatom. So this is called 1,2 disconnect, because we are disconnect at the number 2, 1, 2 disconnect. Okay, so it's called 1,2-diox. So now we will get the synthons like this. This will be nucleophile, this will be electrophile. So now the synthetic equivalence. So usually we can consider as a nucleophile with the hydrogen proton. So the nucleophile, we can get the corresponding reagent, and this one, see, look at here. Here the electrophile we can easily generate from the this oxidant ring, epoxide. Okay. So here the very important thing is that you have to think about the epoxide as electrophile. Okay. So suppose if you are given the same type molecule, where we are discussing about the hydroxyl, which is connected to some other heteroatom at the second carbon, but if you have same kind of functionality, but where the hydroxyl is protected, means it's not as a hydroxyl group, here it's acylated. Okay. So then if you see such a functionality over a molecule, then you can convert this hydroxyl protected, the acyl protected hydroxy to a hydroxy through the functional group interconversion. First you are converting that into the hydroxyl, then we can do this 1,2-diox. So that you will get the nucleophile and then epoxide. Okay. Now I think you understood. So we have to look at the molecule. Suppose we have hydroxyl group which is connected to the carbon, then the adjacent carbon, if you have another functional group like ether or thiether amine connected, then you can easily disconnect the 1,2, the second carbon where the heteroatom is connected, you can easily disconnect that one. So that you will get a nucleophile and electrophile, where the electrophile will be an oxidant like epoxide. Okay. Suppose if you don't see any hydroxyl, but oxygen is there, which is protected, or which is in the some other form, not in the hydroxyl form. Now if it is possible, now you can convert that functional group into a hydroxyl group, then you can do that disconnection. Okay. So once you disconnected, now you know that this chemistry, take the epoxide and you treat with the nucleophile, any nucleophile, it can be amine or an alcohol or a thiol. If you treat with the nucleophile, you can easily see this will attack one side and this will open up, isn't it? So the one side it will be electrophile, and the other side the minus will come and it will be protonated to get this hydroxy nucleophilic substituted molecule. Okay. Where you can suppose if you have this as a target molecule, now you do this one, you synthesize this one, then final step you are protecting, or you can acylate. Okay. Or you can convert hydroxyl into a chlorine. Suppose your target is Cl here. Now you can, through functional group interconversion, you can convert the Cl into the OH, then do a disconnection. During synthesis, you can treat this nucleophile with this epoxide to get this molecule. Then final step, you can convert the OH into the Cl. So here you can think of the molecule where if you we got to think that, okay, if you have some function group, heteroatom, which is connected to one carbon, and the next carbon you have you see some other atom, heteroatom, or like these halogens, then you got to think, okay, now we can convert easily into the OH. The final stage or in the synthesis, we can easily convert the OH into the corresponding halogen, or you can product like this. So the next category, in the same 1,2-diox, where in the last case we discussed about the hydroxyl, where the carbon 1 you have hydroxyl group, carbon 2 some other heteroatom as nucleophile. Now you can also use the same chemistry for carbonyl, where the carbon 1 the last slide we used this one, isn't it, where we had hydroxyl, the next carbon we had some heteroatom. So that we can easily have a carbocation over here. Okay, there the nucleophile will attack like this. So the same chemistry we can use for the carbonyl compounds, where instead of hydroxyl, if you have a carbonyl, then you can have a leaving group over here. Okay, not nucleophile, it will be leaving group, or you can have a nucleophile also, so some other group. Okay, some heteroatom. So now you can easily disconnect this bond 1, 2. The last test we had the hydroxyl is a carbon 1, this is a carbon 2. Here the carbon is a carbon 1 and the next to carbon 2. So you can easily disconnect at the 2 position where the hydroxyl is disconnected, which is called 1,2-diox. Okay. So you have to look at the carbonyl now. Okay. So the alpha halocarbonyl compounds are useful reagents for carbonyls in zones. Okay, if you have halogens, that means a leaving group, so you can easily think of this electrophile, that means this will be the reagent. Okay, so for this compound we do the retrosynthetic analysis. See here we have carbonyl COOH, so carbonyl is there where the carbon 1, this is carbon 1, this is carbon 2, isn't it? We will call it as a carbon 1, carbon 2 function group, carbon 1, and the carbon where it is attached, the carbon is carbon 1, the next carbon is carbon 2, carbon 1, carbon 2. Like this is the carbon 1 and this is the carbon 2. So where we have the ether connection. Okay, so now you can easily do the 1,2-diox, 1,2-diox. So this will be a nucleophile. Okay, this will be a nucleophile, then the corresponding OH, and this will be electrophile, positive charge. So you can easily have a leaving group over here. So this will be electrophile, this will be a nucleophile. So you can easily write down the forward synthesis for that. If you do this one to this one, you can easily get this one. So suppose if you take this molecule, here also we have a carbonyl. See here the carbonyl is here, not this one, is connected to heteroatom. So this is a carbonyl over here, this is 1 and 2. Likewise the carbonyl is 1, this is 2. The heteroatom is connected to the carbon 2. Now you can easily do the disconnection 1,2-diox. So that this will be nucleophile, this will be electrophile. So when you have electrophile, you can easily have a leaving group. So this will be two reagents. Okay, this is a reagent, then is a corresponding acid. If you treat with a base, then usually you can synthesize this one. So the forward reaction, you take this corresponding acid and this one in presence of base, this will react with this one and will get the target molecule. Okay, so if you are given a molecule, then you have to look at whether you have hydroxyl or carbonyl. Then you have to look at the second carbon, the carbon which is adjacent to that functionality. If you have another heteroatom, then you can do the 1,2-diox. Okay, so now the next is 1,3-difunctionalist. So the name itself, like we saw in the earlier slides, 1,1 means the one carbon we have 2 OMe that we saw about the acetals and ketols. Okay, OMe same carbon. So 1,1-diox, 2 heteroatoms the same carbon. 1,2, carbon 1 and 2. Carbon 1 we have hydroxyl, 2 have some other heteroatom. Or another class is about the carbonyl, where carbonyl is CO double bond is carbon 1, the next one is some other carbon, we have some other heteroatom. Okay, so now we have 1,3-difunctionalized compound. So that means at carbon 1 we have one functional group, and carbon 2 and 3 we have some other groups. Okay, so for example we know this chemistry. If you treat a nucleophile with an alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound, that will undergo Michael addition, isn't it? It's a conjugate addition, I can call it as a conjugate addition. Then we will result in this kind of, so you have a carbonyl, carbon 1, 2, 3, third position will have a nucleophile. So 1, 2, 3. So whenever you see or come across a molecule where you can find a carbonyl group, then and the third position, if you have the third carbon, if you have a nucleophile, then you can think of this 1,3-difunctionalized or 1,3-diox disconnect. Okay, for example, if you given this molecule, see the same kind, like this, the same molecule you are taking as. So we are labeling carbon 1, 2, 3. So at the third position we have nucleophile, so we can disconnect this, or we can do the 1,3-diox here. So if you do that, this is nucleophile, so automatically this will be a minus, this will be a positive, isn't it? So this will be electrophile and this will be nucleophile. There will be a nucleophile. Okay, nucleophile we know already. If you say NuH, it will be nucleophile. So if you have this electrophile, what is the corresponding reagent? Then if you find the electrophile which is alpha beta to this carbonyl, or the third position, 1 to third carbon, if you have positive charge, then easily you can think of this alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound. Okay, so one thing is clear, if you see a molecule, a compound where you can find out a carbonyl, then in the third carbon, the carbonyl which is third position to the another carbon, where if you find some other nucleophile, then you can easily do the 1,3-diox. then the electrophile what you will get will be a alpha beta unsaturated compound. Okay, now you can easily synthesize this one or this compound. If you treat this alpha beta unsaturated with a nucleophile NuH, okay, if you know NuH, then it will add, do like this, NO minus, then you will get the compound. Okay, so you can easily use this chemistry, this 1,3-diox for a carbonyl compound which is also having a heteroatom or functional group, the third carbon to that carbonyl. Okay, okay. Now we will see some more example in the 1,3-diox where you have CS bond and CN bond. Okay, so this is called two group. You should remember that we are discussing about two group. First example, the first class was 1,1, two group 1,1 CX means we are disconnecting two groups. Okay, so the two groups which are connected different carbons, that's why the names differ. If the two groups connected the same carbon, it is called 1,1-diox. If the two groups are connected the two adjacent carbons, then it is called 1,2-diox. If the two groups are present in 1 and 3rd positions, okay, then it is called 1,3-diox. So 1,3-diox we have seen about only the carbonyl in that one. The third position we have nucleophile, but in the case of 1,2 we have seen about hydroxyl or carbon 1, some other nucleophile the carbon 2, or carbonyl and the carbon 1 and the carbon 2 we have some other nucleophile. But in here we can see one example where you have carbon 1 is carbonyl, or in the case is ester carbonyl, 2 third, the third carbon is attached to a heteroatom which is sulfur. Okay, then that means you can use the 1,3-diox for the disconnection. That means you are breaking this bond, that CS bond. So this will be nucleophile. Heteroatom always will be nucleophile, isn't it? The corresponding reagent will be SH. Then this will be electrophile. Then whenever you have a positive charge, the third carbon to the carbonyl, then you can think of the alpha beta unsaturated. That's what we saw in the last slide. Okay, then this will be the electrophile and this will be the nucleophile. So you will automatically get this target compound. Okay, so now you take the another example where you have carbonyl 1, 2, 3rd. The third position you have a amine. Okay, CN bond. Okay, first case we saw about the CS bond. Now we have the CN bond. So according to our definition, if you have a heteroatom, the third carbon for the carbonyl, then you can easily do the 1,3-diox. Okay, if you do the 1,3-diox, then it will be a nucleophile. Minus charge will be here, positive charge will be here, and this will be the electrophile. Then nucleophile you can easily write down, isn't it? If you add the proton, then it will be nucleophile. Then electrophile, this will. So when you find a positive charge which is the third carbon to the carbonyl, then easily you can think of the alpha beta. You can go to add a double bond over here like this. Okay, so this will be the electrophile, that the reagent, another reagent. So if you treat this one with this amine, you will get this target compound. Okay, so you got to remember that we are always disconnecting the carbon hetero bond, but we are choosing. If you have more number of CC bonds or CS bond, then we have to select keeping in mind that what kind of diox we are selecting. So that's why. So it's well and good if you find your 1,2 disconnection. Okay, it is best. It will be a good disconnection compared to the 1,1 disconnection. Okay, or one group disconnection. Sorry, one group disconnection. The two group disconnection will simplify our disconnection approach. Okay, so whenever we are given a molecule, if you can able to do a 1,2 disconnection, that's mean two group disconnection. That means two group disconnection. That will be a better disconnection compared to the one group disconnection. What we have seen in the last lecture or the before one, all are one group disconnection. So here we are discussing or we are learning about two group disconnections. So there we had three categories. All the 1,1, 1,2, 1,3 we were discussing one by one. Okay. So we will see some more example and we will know about the disconnections. Okay, suppose if you given this target molecule, so look at this molecule. So you have hydroxyl and an amine. Okay, so 1, 2, third carbon. First carbon we have hydroxyl, second carbon we have amine. Then what kind of disconnection we can do here? Anybody? Okay. So if we have two functional group, carbon 1 we have a hydroxyl, carbon 2 we have a amine. That means two functional group in adjacent carbon. So we have to do 1,2-diox. You can easily do a 1,2-diox. Okay. If you do 1,2-diox, that means the carbon 2 we can disconnect the heteroatom, the bond, the CN bond. Okay, the carbon 2 is connected to the heteroatom. We can disconnect that one. So if you disconnect that, then you will get one electrophile and nucleophile. This will be electrophile. This is the first charge. The heteroatom will be negative. So electrophile and then nucleophile. Now you can easily write down the corresponding reagents. Okay. So already we discussed, whenever see a positive charge, the next to the next carbon to the hydroxyl, then we can easily think of the epoxide. Okay, then we have epoxide and the amine. Now if you treat the two in presence of base, you will get this molecule. This will attack. So you can easily write down the synthesis, the forward synthesis. If you take this one and presence of base, if you treat with the amine, then this amine will open up this this epoxide ring to get this corresponding alcohol. It will be converted into alcohol. Okay, so we will get the target molecule. Okay, so here we have used 1,2-diox. Okay, so the next case, suppose if you are given a molecule like this. Now we look at this functional group. We have amine. Okay, carbon 1 we have amine, 2, 3 we have a heteroatom. So we can use 1,3-diox. So here we have hydroxyl 1, 2. The second carbon we had a amine. So that's why we disconnected this bond, CN bond, where we do the 1,2-diox. Here you have amine with carbon 1, then carbon 2, carbon 3. The carbon 3 we have a ethyl bond. So that means you can easily disconnect the CO bond. But before doing that, we already discussed that whenever we have amine, then we can easily think of the functional group interconversion. So in the last case also we have seen some of the one example, isn't it? Where we converted the amine into nitrile. Okay, coming in the nitrile. The first case, I think I can show you that. See, when you are given a target molecule where we were discussing about the 1,1 disconnection, where we had a hydroxyl group in the carbon, the next carbon only, then H2 is there. So it first converted the amine into the nitrile using the functional group interconversion. So now we have hydroxyl and another nucleophile the same carbon. So now we can easily do the 1,1 disconnection. That's what we saw. Likewise, we can also convert that amine into a nitrile. Okay, in a nitrile. Through functional group interconversion, we can easily convert the amine into nitrile. Now, again, this is saying the carbon is 1 only. Carbon 1, 2, 3. So still we can use the 1,3 disconnection, 1,3-diox. So if you break that CO bond, if you disconnect that, you will get a two synthons, nucleophile and electrophile. Now you can easily get the reagent corresponding to an alcohol. Okay, cyclohexanol and acrylonitrile. So if you treat these two in presence of base, you can get this target compound, means the compound nitrile with nitrile group. Then final stage you can reduce this nitrile into amine. Okay. So I think now you are clear about 1,2 and 1,3-diox, where we do the two group disconnection using the 1,2, 1,3-diox approach. So what are the disconnection we discussed till now? First case, we were seen about all the example what we saw all about one group disconnection. the first lecture, last two lectures. Okay, here those are all coming under one group disconnection, means we were only disconnecting the C heteroatom bond. But in this lecture, what we have seen all are two group disconnections. We are disconnecting two groups, but the two group disconnection differs depending on their connections. Suppose if the two groups are the same carbon, it is called 1-1 disconnection. The two groups are in adjacent carbon, then we are doing 1-2 disconnect. We disconnect the two functional group through the 1-2 disconnection. Suppose if the two heteroatoms or two functional groups are carbon 1 and 3, then we are using 1,3 diax. So where in the case of 1-1 disconnection, we have to remember about the acetal or ketol, like that, or we can one case. In another case, we can have one hydroxyl and another some other nucleophile. Same carbon, we can have one hydroxyl or some other nucleophile. In the last slide I showed hydroxyl and with the amine, then we interconverted in the nitrile. So that the same carbon we had hydroxyl and nitrile. There also we use 1-1 disconnection. Okay. In the case of 1-2 disconnection, where we will have a hydroxyl, the second carbon will have some other functional group or heteroatom, or the carbonyl or heteroatom. So where we have hydroxyl and some other second one is some other heteroatom or nucleophile, then we can think of the epoxide. This is epoxide as a electrophile and the corresponding nucleophile. Okay. But in the case of 1,3, the electrophile will be alpha beta unsaturated. Okay, alpha beta unsaturated, where you can do the Michael addition with the nucleophile to get the target molecule. Okay. So whenever you are doing 1,3 diax in the CX bond, that means the electrophile will be a alpha beta unsaturated compound. Okay, if you are doing disconnecting the 1,2 diax, that means the two functional the adjacent carbon, then the electrophile will be a epoxide if you had a hydroxyl in the target. Okay, so or some other carbonyl, alpha halo carbonyl compound if you have a carbonyl as a functional group. Okay, so the next class we will discuss about one group CS disconnection. So till now we have discussed about one group CX, two group CX, or all disconnection that we did discussed are based on the carbon heteroatom disconnection, but in different position. Okay, different functionalized compounds with having the CX bond in different positions. In the next class we will discuss about CC bond, breaking a CC bond, only one bond. So that means one group CC disconnections. Yes, most of the compounds, organic compounds, the CC bond formation is the very important one. That's where we use this bond making to synthesize a target molecule, where we will be involving number of CC bonds. So CC bond making is very important. So that's why the CC bond disconnection is also very important one. So we have seen that in the case of heteroatom which is connected to the carbon, the heteroatom always will be a nucleophile. Heteroatom always will be the nucleophile, carbon will be electrophile. But when in the case of CC disconnection, the carbon will be a electrophile, the another carbon will be nucleophile. So the carbon will act as a electrophile as well as a nucleophile. So we have to think about some of the electrophile which is based on carbon, some nucleophile like here. Okay, we have already discussed about this one. If you think an active carbon is a nucleophile, then you can easily think of the Grignard reagent. Suppose if your carbon is electrophile, then you can easily think of the leaving group which is attached to the carbon. Okay, so you have to remember this one. So the reagents are available for both electrophilic carbon and as well as nucleophilic carbon. So this we will discuss in the next one, next lecture. Okay, next class. Thank you.